humanity. Keep watching The Politics every Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time on New York Parrot TV, the voice for humanity.
Welcome to Talking Politics. My name is Robert Press. I am a reporter for the New Bronx News, as well as the Parkchester Times, which are part of Muslim media like this program. I also contribute to the Co-op City News and the Bronx Chronicle. I have a blog at www.100%.blogspot.com where you can see more about some of the stories I talk here and other items. I also have Facebook pages, 100%, and what is going on in your community board. The views expressed here on this show are those of the host, the guest. Anyone who is commenting at the bottom of the screen, not necessarily those of Muslim Media Corporation. As I normally do, let's go to the weather report. Today, Friday, the high will be a comfortable 74 with the temperature going into the 80s tomorrow on Saturday and 84 on Sunday, with possible rain late Saturday night going into Sunday morning. Labor Day, Monday, the high should be 79 with clear skies. Before I get into national, state, and city politics, I want to take up two local Bronx issues. Here is an email I received from Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gibson that didn't appoint me to Community Board 11 last year. On the top, it says Community Board application status. There is no names or emails there, and I'll read it now. Dear Robert Press, I want to sincerely thank you for your time and patience during the Bronx Community Board appointment process. Unfortunately, I regret that I'm unable to appoint you to one of the 12 Bronx community boards at this time. Over 500 applicants, both those who were reapplying and new applicants, took part in a virtual interview process. My staff carefully reviewed all submitted applications. While I am unable to appoint you to this cohort of community board appointments, please note that there is always a possibility of a vacancy between now and May 2024. My office and I will move quickly to fill any vacancy that arises and could consider your application for midterm appointment. Now, there were two vacancies that occurred so far this year, and Borough President Gibson has not filled them as she said she would. Now, this year, I was not going to apply, but new Councilwoman Christy Marmorato asked me to apply, saying that she would get me appointed as one of her nominees. The Councilwoman covers about 90% of the Community Board 11 area. However, this year, she got only 5 people appointed to the board. Which was July 15th, and I was not one of them. I was told by the councilwoman that she would try to get me on the second round. She has 90%. That would give her about 20 or 22 appointees to the board, 10 or 11 each year. Like I said, she only got 5 so far. And then there were 3 people who were reappointed, which are hers, but they were credited to the former councilwoman, Marjorie Velazquez, and not Councilwoman Christy Marmorato. Now, that was on the community board website. The district manager said he was putting them up as given to him by the borough president's office. So that means there are 8 openings still left on Community Board 11, since borough president only appointed 42 people. And of those 8, 6 of them belong to Councilwoman Marmorato, 3 this year and 3 next year, or 3 the previous year. Okay, now on Friday, Friday, August 23rd at 5:03 p.m., I received an email from the borough president's office with the heading Community Board Appointment Letter. Okay, here you'll see Community Board Appointment Letter. It has emails on it. It has an email to the board chair, to the district manager, and the person downtown. But there was a problem on here, and I tried to call the borough president's office, but when I called, I received, our office is open 9 to 5. We are closed currently. Please call back on Monday. I tried again to a different number, got the same answer. On here, and I'm going to read it to you. It says, Dear Robert Press, thank you for your time and service on our community boards. Regrettably, I am unable to reappoint you for this cycle. Our office received nearly 600 applications this year. In addition to carefully reviewing every new applicant, we took great care in assessing the performance of current members that reapplied. Your reappointment, it says application, underwent a comprehensive review by my team, as well as a consultation with your local council member who nominates applicants for 50% of the community board seats. You should watch the August 1st executive board meeting, which is on the Community Board 11 YouTube site, to see some of the appointees of the borough president. One said to the board, to the executive board, what does a community board do? The vice chair, the treasurer, the district manager all tried to answer him, and it was I who spoke for 2 minutes, telling him exactly what a community board does, what their powers are. And I used an example of the Parks Committee meeting, where the Parks Committee chair was given 2 presentations by the Parks Department and said, gee, we like A, but we don't like B. And I believe I said this before on the show. And it was I who said to her, you don't have to take both. You could tell Parks you want one and you want them to come back with a better proposal on the second one. So, you know, how the borough president is putting on people who ask, what does a community board do? I don't know. Now, after reading the letter a second time, like I said, I called a little later when I couldn't get through to the borough president's office. I then went on my Facebook page, what is going on in your community board, and thanked the borough president for appointing me to Community Board 11. And I posted just the top of the email because I didn't want to embarrass the borough president by showing how her office screwed up on the bottom, saying that she was unable to reappoint me when I was never on Community Board 11 by her. By the way, Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gibson even commented about me on Monday, August 26th on my posting, thanking her for her appointment. She wrote, SMH. Now, Bob, you know you're completely out of order for even sharing this on social media. Now, why would I be out of order if I want to share a letter that says I'm appointed to Community Board 11? All right, she goes, you know the end result and what the body of your email says. Yeah, I know what the email body said. It said your office screwed up. I will leave it at that. The borough president, was very careful, and I'll point out that the borough president was very careful in her words, but she did not say that I was appointed, and she did not say I wasn't appointed. And the body of the letter did not apply to me since I was not a Community Board 11 member. On Wednesday, August 28th, after seeing my name and parts of the email I received on a Facebook posting by someone else, I called the Community Board office of Borough President Gibson and spoke to Alexis Ruiz. Miss Ruiz became very nasty to me when I asked if I was appointed or I wasn't appointed. She said to speak to the chair or the district manager of Community Board 11. I did not want to embarrass the borough president, like I said, of her obvious screw up. Now, I also went to the district manager on Monday, August 26th, and I asked him, to put me on the list of appointed members. He told me that about 10 people received the same email that I got, that they were appointed to the community board. And there were only 8 vacancies, as I said before. And he was waiting for clarity from the borough president's office, and he would get back to me. That was Monday. Today is Friday. Nothing has been done. Yesterday, I wrote to Borough President Gibson asking for clarification on my appointment, or what I think now might be non-appointment to Community Board 11. And I will let you know what the borough president answers me next week, if she answers me indeed. Okay, let's move on to a little topic of corruption in office. And I'm going to start with a story from Los Angeles. With little oversight, politicians are often bribery recipients. Jose Huzar's downfall at Los Angeles City Hall was as stunning as his rise to success. A political tragedy that, like many in the land of dreams, has become a familiar one. Born to a large family in rural Mexico and raised in poverty near the towering high rises of downtown Los Angeles, he overcame enormous odds to graduate from the University of California, Berkeley, Princeton University, and UCLA Law School. He returned to his own neighborhood in East Los Angeles to run for the school board and eventually city council, where he gained control of the influential committee that approves multi-million-dollar commercial development projects across the city. His spectacular fall after FBI agents caught him accepting a $1.8 million worth of casino chips, luxury hotel stays, prostitutes, and a liquor box full of cash from Chinese developers was cast by federal prosecutors as an epic Hollywood tale. They persuaded a judge in January and to sentence him to 13 years in prison on charges of tax evasion and racketeering. Gee, that sounds like something that Al Capone was caught on. So now he has gone to prison, and we have another story that has hit here in the Bronx. And this comes directly from the U.S. Attorney Damian Williams, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. He announced the unsealing of an indictment charging Nicole Torres, an elected district leader in the Bronx and an employee of the New York City Board of Elections, with illegally demanding payments from Bronx residents to herself and a local unnamed organization in exchange for selecting those individuals as poll workers. Torres is charged with falsifying documents to make it appear that certain individuals had worked as poll workers on particular dates when in truth and in fact they had not. Torres and other members of the scheme then allegedly split the fraudulent obtained paychecks issued to the no-show poll workers. Torres was arrested Tuesday morning. According to the allegations contained in the indictment, since in or about 2019, Torres had been a district leader for New York's 81st Assembly District in the Bronx. In addition, since at least or about 2016, Torres had been an employee of the New York City Board of Elections. While working at the BOE, Torres had at times been responsible for ensuring that poll workers are paid for their work during early voting and election day. Torres abused her power as a district leader and as a Board of Election employee to engage in two illegal schemes. First, from at least in or about 2019 up to and including in about August 2024, Torres agreed to required Bronx residents to pay a sum of money, usually $150, either to her or this unnamed Bronx organization in exchange for Torres selecting those individuals as poll workers for upcoming elections. Both the unnamed Bronx organization and Torres profited from the scheme. Torres personally obtained $28,000 in illegal payments, the U.S. Attorney's Office says, and she received those payments in the amounts of about $150 through mobile payment applications, money orders, and often in amounts of $150 in checks. In certain instances, Torres received money orders and checks that were written out to the unnamed Bronx organization, and Torres altered the payee line on those money orders or checks to say Nicole Torres so that she could deposit the money in her personal bank account. Second, it says on the indictment, from at least or around 2018 up to and including in about August 2024, Torres agreed to falsify the forms booklet, which is a New York City Board of Elections record book, which poll workers record their attendance at particular poll sites to make it appear that certain individuals worked as poll workers during and voting and election day, when in truth, they did not. Torres is well known, those individuals did not work on those dates. Torres often worked with coordinators who oversaw the forms booklet at specific poll sites. These coordinators signed in no-show poll workers in forms booklet, frequently at Torres's discretion. There's more here. I'm just going to say that it says that she profited $36,000 in the fraud payments, and that she is charged with one count of conspiracy to commit extortion under color of official right, one count of extortion under color of official right, one count of conspiracy to commit honest service wire fraud, one count of honest service wire fraud, one count of conspiracy to commit mail fraud, another count of mail fraud, and a count of aggravated identity theft. The first 6 counts carry a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. The 7th carries a mandatory term of 2 years. Now, I will say before I go to commercial that the charges in this indictment are merely accusations, and the defendant is presumed innocent until proven guilty. The New York Times has said a little bit more about this, that a spokesman from the Board of Elections said that the agency has been a partner in the investigation. We continue to send a clear message that allegations of wrongdoing will thoroughly be investigated and referred to law enforcement officers immediately. The U.S. Attorney's Office declined to comment in the New York Times article. And let me just say before I go, and this is going to be the last thing I say before I go to commercial, poll workers can make $2,750 each election cycle. This year, there are 3 election cycles, which means poll workers would be paid $8,250 for working all 3 election cycles. There was the presidential cycle in April, the primary in June, and we have the general election in November. So let me now, as my producer is trying to tell me, let me go to a commercial right now.
Step into the heart of Africa at Daylight Africa Week in the Gambia. Join us for the groundbreaking Transatlantic Family Reunification Forum, where we embrace our shared heritage and stories of strength. Explore the captivating history of Banjul, Bakau, Kunta Kinte Island, Sanyang, Tendaba, and more, where our roots run deep. Celebrate Africa's unity and progress. Witness the Odana Laye Award ceremony, honoring trailblazers who shape our destiny. Network and connect. Join our social and economic networking events. Together, we'll pave the way for a brighter future. Daylight Africa Week in the Gambia. An unforgettable journey awaits you from September 2nd to 10th. Reserve your spot now at www.daylightafrica.org. Terms and conditions apply. Daylight Africa Week. Unite with us in the heart of Africa. Be a part of history in the making.
Every day now, Democratic candidate for president, Kamala Harris, is gaining in the polls. She is now leading Donald Trump. Unfortunately, though, it is not more than the margin of error, so Donald Trump, it has still a possibility of winning. However, special counsel Jack Smith has filed a new indictment on Tuesday against Donald Trump over his efforts to undo the 2020 presidential election. That keeps the same criminal charges, but narrows the allegations against him following a Supreme Court opinion that conferred broad immunity on the former president. The new indictment removes a section of the previous one that accused Trump of trying to use law enforcement powers of the Justice Department to overturn his election laws. The Republican president nominee won't face trial before the November election, but it seems that this is another way of preventing Donald Trump from running. Meanwhile, former President Trump has said that he will participate in a debate next month against Vice President and Democratic nominee for president Kamala Harris, 2 days after he suggested that he would not. Let's talk a little bit about the war in the Ukraine. It appears that Moscow is now launching an offensive back at the Ukraine for Ukraine coming into Russian territory. They launched 200 missiles and drones across a wide part of the Ukraine on Monday, damaging energy facilities, sending residents of Kyiv into basements and subways to seek shelter. President Zelensky condemned the assault as one of the largest strikes in the 30-month-old war. At the same time, Russian troops have been attacking relentlessly along the front inside Ukraine, closing in on a key city, Pokrov, and razing towns and villages with artillery barrages. On Wednesday, missiles hit the hometown where President Zelensky lives. As for President Biden, on yesterday, he approved Governor Kathy Hochul's request for major disaster funding to provide aid for several New York City counties impacted by severe weather earlier this summer. Federal assistance will be on the way for Cortland, Essex, Hamilton, Lewis, and St. Lawrence counties, which saw severe storms, flooding, and tornadoes from July 10th to July 11th. A state appellate court, on other notes, a state appellate court has upheld a ruling that removed former independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. from the ballot in New York by invalidating his signatures from his campaign collected this year. And Kennedy has said he's going to stay on wherever he can, and he is going to endorse former President Donald Trump. As far as cannabis enforcement goes, Governor Hochul on Monday provided an update on the state's efforts after a 3-month blitz by illicit cannabis enforcement task force. Thousands of illegal cannabis storefronts across the state have plagued our communities and siphoned business from legal retailers. She said she has launched this. 1,000 illegal businesses have been shuttered, and she looks forward to building on that success. There are more than 700 inspectors, resulting in 7,485 pounds of illegal cannabis seized, an estimated value of $28.9 million. These inspectors have led to 345 padlocks and 596 notices of violations. 79 administrative hearings, including 5 administration decisions to date, 52 of which upheld the law. And Mayor Eric Adams, along with Sheriff Anthony Miranda and New York City Police Commissioner Edward Caban and others, Wednesday destroyed more than 4 tons of seized illegal cannabis products as inspectors of the New York City Sheriff's Joint Compliance Task Force have shut down and sealed more than 1,000 illegal cannabis and smoke shops since the start of the city's successful Operation Padlock to Protect. Cannabis operators who are running afoul of the law pose a public safety and health risk to our communities and destabilize the emerging legal industry, said New York Police Commissioner Edward Caban. Operation Padlock to Protect systematically conducts joint operations, which include inspections and follow-up inspections in neighborhoods across the 5 boroughs. When illegal stores are ordered to seal, officers from local precincts monitor locations to ensure that these businesses comply and alert the sheriff's office when violations of the seal order occur. Randy Mastro, a former part of the Rudy Giuliani administration, we've heard his names in Yankee Stadium, among other things. He is looking to be the city's next corporation counsel, and word is that his chances are slim to none. He doesn't have the support of the council, one member said, who wanted to stay anonymous. There was a public hearing held on Tuesday on Mastro's nomination, which went more than 11 hours as council members pressed him on his controversial record. But it was a testimony at the end of the day from Bridget Ann Kelly, a former aide to Governor Chris Christie, and who was convicted for her role in the Bridgegate scandal that council members called damning and impactful. Kelly testified that Mastro was sexist towards her and used her as a scapegoat. Randy Mastro is a conniving and ruthless politician and operative who happens to be attorney. She testified with tears in her eyes. Council members pointed to Mastro's years serving under the Giuliani administration, representing Governor Christie in the Bridgegate scandal, as well as oil giant Chevron in a case centered on pollution in Ecuador, and most recently for him representing the state of New Jersey in its lawsuit against New York City's congestion pricing plan. There has to be a lawyer out there with a less offensive resume, one council member said. If he were to be confirmed, Maestro would technically represent both the mayor and city council in legal issues, as well as the city's legal department, which consists of about 800 lawyers. Many council members doubt he would represent them and say he would just be the mayor's lawyer. In his testimony, though, Maestro insisted he would strive to keep a balance between both sides when arguments arose. I would be an independent force for good, representing this council in ways no corporate council ever has before, he testified. In 2019, voters approved a referendum advising consent, which gives council members the power to confirm or deny the appointment of the city's corporation counsel and the commissioner of the Department of Investigation. And currently the council is looking to have more oversight on the mayor's appointments, period. Council sources said they told the mayor this spring before Randy was officially nominated that many council members were severely opposed to him, but the administration charged forward, one council member said. They are frustrated by this waste of time and energy. Mayor Eric Adams was at a separate event on Wednesday, and he was asked what he thought of the hearings. He goes, "It was all part of the process," Eric said. On an interview Mayor Adams did with PIX 11 Wednesday night, he was asked if he still stands with Mastro after listening to the hearing. His answer was 110%. I like how he didn't say 100%. I've looked into his record. I've looked through what he's done, everything from suing those against Black Lives Matter, suing Donald Trump, what he has represented, and looked at the list of people who have supported him and former corporation counsels and other affluent and important people part of the legal process. Adams continued, listen, attorneys take on tough cases, and if we demoralize attorneys for those cases they take, that's a slippery slope, because then we're saying those who commit crimes or those who are accused of crimes don't have a right to due process. That's not a country that I want to live in, Mayor Adams said. The public comment period on Mastro's nomination is open until, well, it now closed. It says Friday morning. If anyone else in the public wants to submit their comments, city council members must vote on his nomination before September 15th in order to be confirmed to the post. At least 2/3 of the council will need to vote yes for him. So if you don't want him to be appointed and you want some more comments, talk to your local councilman. I am going to quickly go over the Rikers Island dashboard. You were sure you had, well, Kevin, what can I tell you? There might be another position that I'm going to be going for, and you may hear about it next week, Kevin. Yes, I cannot control what the borough president does. I was told by Councilwoman Marato that she would make sure that I would get on. I did talk about Torres. Yes, I know she's a Republican, Kevin. Let me finish with this dashboard from Rikers. They have 6,376 individuals as of August 1st, 36 fewer than that of July 1st. 1,944 individuals entered DOC custody in July, 70 fewer than in June. They discharged 1,996 people in July, 104 more than in June. The average length of a stay in custody was 96 days in July, 3 days fewer than the average in June. They hired 96 new correction officers in July. The Department of Corrections failed to produce 121 of the 7,308 individuals in custody for a scheduled court appointment appearance as of June, an increase of 6 from May. 5 out of those individuals delivered to the court did not have a recorded time arrival, 9 fewer than in May. In July, the average percentage of staff who were out sick was 6%, a 1% decrease from June. In incidents of violence in July, 71 recorded assaults, 2 fewer than in June, 612 fights, 24 more than in June, 15 slashings and stabbings occurred, 9 fewer than June, 1,784 incidents requiring force as of fiscal year 24, fourth quarter, 22 fewer than in the third quarter. 5 people reportedly have died in Rikers Island so far in 2024. And this was first published 2 years ago in August of 2022 by the controller. And what is left off again is how many people in custody did not make their appointments or miss their appointments. Person in Rikers Island who is going for medical treatment does not have to go to medical. They could just ignore it. So this is why people around just home in Jacoby Hospital are very worried that these people that the Health and Hospitals Corporation and the city jails, Department of Corrections want to put there may not go to their appointments. They don't have to. They don't have to listen to the city. They are going to be free to roam anywhere around the community, around Jacoby Hospital, and that worries the community. And that's why we need to stop just home at Jacoby Hospital. And I'm going to end it here since I see I'm at the half-hour mark. where I normally end the show, but I do want to say a few last items. Fernando Cabrera, a Bronx pastor with a history of anti-gay views who served as an advisor to New York City Mayor Eric Adams at City Hall, has filed paperwork this week to mount a 2025 campaign for his old council seat against incumbent councilwoman Parina Sanchez and challenger Brian Hodge Vasquez. So let me say that's it for this week's show. Thank you for watching. Thank those who commented on here. And I hope to see you next week on Talking Politics, where I'll have an answer for Borough President Vanessa Gibson. Thank you.
Do you know that there is a publishing company that wants to make life easier for you as a writer? This publishing company is called World Inkers Printing and Publishing. We publish in all different languages, and we're looking for writers of all genres, all formats. We're looking for scholars, ghostwriters, playwrights, poets, short fiction, novelists, you name it. We're looking for anybody who is interested in writing and the craft of writing to be in touch with us. You can reach us at info.worldinkers@gmail.com. With World Inkers Printing and Publishing, you do not require a lot of money to publish with us. Contact us today at info.worldinkers@gmail.com. Become a winner with other authors at World Inkers Printing and Publishing. Give us a shot. We will surely finish you.